Yo, BJ Gaddour with the Daily BJ, and this is the single dumbbell trifecta complex. Now, complex is where you perform X number of movements back to back to back with little to no rest between movements to get a lot of work done in a short period of time to really get a lot of good fat burning, muscle building, and metabolism boosting. And you can do it in small spaces and still melt your faces. Start with a 10 to 20 pound dumbbell. You can always bump up the weight from round to round or session to session. We've got 3 unilateral exercises. That means one side at a time that you'll do each side of for 6 total movements. 45 seconds of max reps for each movement with little to no rest between movements. You'll rest 1 to 2 minutes between rounds. Do 3 to 5 total rounds for a total body metabolic fat loss workout. And here's how we rock this in. Now with complexes, you do ideally want the hardest movement first, but also if it's the hardest movement and it can also have a built-in warm-up to it, that's even better. So this first movement, the Breakdancer Row To Press, is gonna warm up the core, hips, shoulders, mobilize the shoulder girdle in the hips, and really prepare you for the movements to come. So that's what makes it a really intelligent way to kind of get this workout going. So I'm gonna get into a bear crawl position, dumbbell in one hand, hand on the floor in the other, and don't mistake the fact that only one hand is holding the dumbbell for only one side working. This one is working just as hard to stabilize. You've got to make sure that you don't let that shoulder shrug. You got to pack it down and keep it in the socket the entire time. So you'll start with this, kind of break it down more robotically as you do a row, pull that leg underneath to press. All right, so I've got full extension on this hip, and then I'm going to press from there, and I'm shooting this other leg off to the side to get full extension through the hip, and then I'm going to come right back through. So initially start slow, feel it out. I can eventually make it more fluid, all right? And obviously I can increase the weight too to increase the challenge. 45 seconds. I would then quickly switch sides and do the same thing on the other side, trying to max the reps on each side as we do this complex, all right? From there, we're going into a great single leg balance stability movement that works the whole body. Posterior chain emphasis being a hip hinge. So you start with a quarter bend in that leg, but then you're not squatting from there at all. It's that bend maintained throughout. Opposite arm is holding. I can go like this or I can reach. So hip hinge, I like to bend the back leg and kind of squeeze the glute through until I make a tabletop position, trunk parallel to the floor. Pull up, curl to press. All right, if you have to touch with the opposite toe to balance, you can. Try to avoid doing that to really make sure you're getting the benefit of the movement from a stability and balance standpoint. All right, and I'm trying to keep my hips and shoulders square to the ground as I rock that movement. 4.5 seconds on, switch sides right away, and repeat. You can drive through, pull, see that? So much balance and stability. You want to make sure we're tracking that foot, that knee over the foot. All right, hinge, push through with the glute, pull through, curl to press. So much good core, oblique, hip stabilization with that exercise. Again, whole body movement. Final one is a combination lunge, adding unique planes of movement, both frontal, side to side, and rotational transverse, areas that really get the hip complex in ways that most forward lunging or up and down squatting do not. So I'm gonna take the dumbbell, hold it like a baseball bat, and make sure I'm not stepping too far back on this, because the dumbbell might hit the thigh, especially as it gets bigger. So take a shorter stroke, step back, reverse lunge. So you're gonna step, you'll pass over. So I'm twisting at my upper back, not my lower back. Belly button stays forward. I pull through, immediately step into a lateral lunge, only going as low as I can while maintaining flat back. So from the side, if you see me, all right, flat back, I'm hinged, but I'm flat. This would be too low, right? Because I start rounding at the spine. So it all depends on the size of the dumbbell, your range of motion, your limb length. So find the ideal depth, but see how I can kind of make it just like a nice continuous fluid movement. You're smoking both hips and thighs and mobilizing through hips and upper back, smoking the core. This becomes super metabolic. You immediately, 6th and final movement is the other side. So again, short stroke, step back lunge, right in, step, step, step. And you might notice that there's a little less rotation on one side than the other. That's what we're trying to work on, those imbalances for symmetry and injury prevention, all right? So that is the workout. Have some fun. No excuses, baby. Peace.